Assalamu alaikum. This is Ansari Yasmin and I am from Anjul Islam Abdulazim Khatpate Weir Secondary School, Washi. And students, today we are going to learn a very interesting topic of Science 1 chapter, that is, I'll tell you the name later. Let's first look at this picture. What do you see in this picture? What do you observe in this picture? This picture is a picture of a general store where different items are kept and a different section has been made over here. Even if you'll go in the mall or if you'll go for the shopping in any shop, you will observe there that there are different sections made. Okay, here if you will see, there is a section of biscuits and cookies. There is a section of cold drink, drinks and beverages. There is a section of fruit juices. Okay, there is a section of soft drinks. There is a section of chocolates. Okay, there is a section of pickles and jams. So different sections have been made here, and these sections have been made to avoid confusion, to avoid chaos, and the customer will be easily able to understand in which section he has to go for the material or the things which he want to buy. Okay, so this is actually the classification of an items, and this classification has been done based on their taste, based on their appearance, based on their properties. How do they look, how do they taste, what are the properties. Based on that, these items have been divided into different sections based on the use also. Okay, so same way if you will observe, this is the classification of the items based on the properties, taste or uses. Okay, so in the nature there are total 118 elements present, and these elements, we need to understand the uses, their properties, their appearance. We need to study about these elements, and to make the study easy or to make the element better, these elements have been classified into different section or different groups, and this classification of element is called periodic classification of an elements. Now, why do this classification required? Now, if you will see, even in our schools, there are different standards: 5th standard, 6th standard, 7th standard, 8th standard, 9th and 10th. All 600-700 students or 1000 students or 2000 students, they don't study in the same class at the same platform. Okay, there are different sections made in the school based on their IQ level, based on their age, based on their capability. Okay, so based on taking taking into consideration certain criteria, students have been classified into different standards. Okay, all students don't study in the same classroom because their IQ levels are different, their grasping power is different, so their level of study should also be different. So that is why they have been divided into different standard of classes. Same way elements have been also classified, so that it will be easy for us to understand the element better. And to do so, many scientists have done a tremendous work in this field. This is the journey of the classification of elements. In 1817, Duberainer was the scientist who gave the classification of elements. Then there was some limitation in his classification. So later on in 18th century, in 1866, John Newlands, he has given the classification of elements, and his classification was known as Newlands octaves. Then again some limitations were found in his classification. So in 1869, Dmitri Mendeleev, who was also known as father of classification of elements, uh, uh, he has given the classification of elements. He has given the periodic table in 1869, and it was a very good work in the field of classification of elements done by Dmitri Mendeleev. And later on in 1923, a modern periodic table has been formed, which was done by Henry Moseley. So one by one we will study about all this classification. Today, right now, the classification which we are following right now is the modern periodic table. Okay, but before learning or before studying about this periodic table, first we need to understand which are the previous classification and what were the limitations, so that we will be able to understand the modern periodic table. Okay, so to understand modern periodic table, we need to understand Dubrener's triads, we need to understand Newland's octaves, we need to understand Dmitri Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay, so let's start. This is Dubrener's triads. Okay, Dubrener is the name of the scientist. He has classified elements. He was the German scientist, and he suggested that properties of elements are related to their atomic masses. Okay, so the basis of the classification given by the Dubreiner was atomic masses. We all have studied about the atomic number and atomic mass in the previous standard. Okay, now what Dubreiner did, he made groups of 3 elements. Like here you can see, he has made group of 3 elements. This is the group of sodium, lithium, potassium. Okay, same way, if we will see, there is a group of strontium. This is the another group of 3 elements: strontium, calcium and barium. If you will find here, again there is another group of 3 elements: bromine, chlorine, iodine. Okay, so he made group of 3 elements. And how did he make the groups? He made group of those 3 elements which shows similar properties. Okay, so he made group of 3 elements having similar properties. So if we will see this group, sodium, lithium, potassium, these 3 elements are having almost similar properties. Same way strontium, calcium, barium, these elements are also showing similar properties. Okay, so in this way he made group of 3 elements which shows similar properties. After making the group of 3 elements, here you can see in this picture, you will be able to understand the exact appearance of the elements. On the left hand side, if you will see, this is lithium, sodium, potassium. Okay, these are the 3 elements which shows similar properties. So he made one group of them. Then if we will observe here, this is chlorine, this is bromine, this is iodine. These are the 3 elements which shows similar properties. Okay, then there is one more group: calcium, strontium, barium. again these three elements shows similar properties. So he had made group of these three elements showing similar properties. And after making the group of three elements, he arranged them in an increasing order of their atomic masses. Okay, so if I will take the example of the first group, lithium, atomic mass of lithium is 6. Okay, actually it's 6.9, not 6, 6.9. Atomic mass of lithium is 6.9. So here we will write 6.9. Then atomic number of sodium is 23. So here we will write 23. And atomic mass of potassium is 39.1. So here I will write 39.1. If you will observe, these elements are arranged in an increasing order of their atomic masses: 6.9, 23 and 39.1. So the smallest element having this, the element with the smallest mass is lithium, which is 6.9. Then sodium is having atomic number 23, which is greater than lithium, and potassium is having atomic mass greater than sodium. So they have been arranged in an increasing order of the atomic masses. After arranging all these elements in an increasing order of atomic masses, Dobereiner said that atomic mass of the middle element, here the middle element is sodium, atomic mass of the middle element is equal to the mean of the atomic masses of the other two elements. Okay, let's understand. Let's find out the mean of the other two elements. This is the first element, this is the third element. So we need to find their mean. Okay, so to find the mean, what will we do? 6.9 plus 39.1 divided by 2. Okay, so when you will add 6.9 and 39.1, you are going to get 46 divided by 2, and 46 divided by 2 will give you 23. Okay, so mean of the first and third element is 23, and 23 is the atomic mass of the middle element. So this classification was done by Dobereiner. Okay, same way, if we will see the next example, the three elements arranged grouped is chlorine, bromine and iodine. Chlorine, bromine and iodine. Let's see what are their atomic masses. Chlorine's atomic mass is 35.5. Okay, bromine's atomic mass is 80. Bromine's atomic mass is 79.9. It's 79.9. And iodine's atomic mass is 126.9. Iodine's 126.9. Okay, so what Dobereiner did, he first made three groups having similar properties. So he made group of chlorine, bromine, iodine. Then he arranged all these three elements in an increasing order of their atomic masses. As you can see, chlorine is having the least atomic mass in this group. Then bromine's mass is greater than chlorine, and then iodine's mass is greater than bromine. Okay, so according to him, the atomic mass of bromine, the atomic mass of the middle element, will be equal to the mean of the atomic mass of the first and third element. Let's find out mean of the first and third element. First element's mass is 35.5, okay, plus third element's mass is 126.9 divided by 2. So when we will divide it by 2, we will get 162.4 divided by 2. And when we will divide 162.4 by 2, we are going to get 81.2. Okay, so atomic mass of the mean of the first and third element is almost equal to the middle element. Atomic mass of the middle element is 79.9, nearly equal to 80, and mean of the first and the third element is 81.2, which is, if we will do the round off, it will be 81. So it is approximately almost equal, near to equal. Okay, so this classification was given by Duberainer, but there was some limitation. Some limitation means what? Limitation was that all the known elements could not be classified into Duberainer's triads. When Duberainer was doing the classification, all the elements at that time could not be classified into this, could not be classified based on this classification. Duberainer was able to give only 3 or 4 groups of such classification, and other elements could not be classified on this basis. So this was the limitation. So to overcome this limitation, in next scientist, that is, he was the English scientist John Newlands. Okay, he has given the classification of elements. So we will understand about this classification in the next video. Thank you.